And sweetheart, before I get off this Insta, let me say this, it'll never fucking happen. You can go all there, everything y'all want to, every witch doctor in the motherfucking world, it'll never fucking happen. Praise be to God. I am who I am because I am who I am. You see, I don't have to go in a room with a bunch of men
don't cut this off.
To create my sound, my image, my anything. I am who I am. Take it or fucking leave it. But I put in the motherfucking work.
I am the one, I am a queen, there is no in between. Hold up, let me switch my flow up. Nose up, they swear I'm stuck up. That boy just mad, he can't fuck. He ain't getting no money, it's slow bucks.
This is the story of Imani Sharpless, a 26-year-old aspiring model and rapper who had a bright future ahead of her. Tragically, an innocent trip to the store with her boyfriend turned devastating when a dispute over a parking space escalated, unimaginably resulting in Imani suffering a fatal gunshot wound to the head. The gravity of such a violent act stemming from a trivial disagreement shocked investigators and the entire community. How could an argument over a parking space lead to cold-blooded murder? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Brooklyn, New York. 26-year-old Imani Sharpless worked with kids as a teacher's aide at a local Brownsville elementary school, guiding them through their after-school activities. But beyond the classroom, she had a passion for modeling and a love for music.
Bitch, I'm known for big stepping. C block what I'm repping. If I say slide, then gang gon' slide like little bitches electric. Is that even enough a question? Is that even a debate? Can't let no snake bitch bite me twice. I had to turn it to a plate. I'm feeling good, I'm Gucci great. I guess that's why these bitches hate. But just a while back was the ramen pack, now it's stick up on my plate. This here big dog status. This why they hot for the malice.
Imani was taking strides towards her ultimate dream. She attended classes, focusing on honing the skills she needed to step into the limelight of modeling and rapping, a career that seemed destined for her. Imani was in a relationship with 36-year-old Cordell McDuffie, a father of 2 children. The two had been together for years. Imani and her boyfriend made the most of their time together, enjoying each other's company and building a life side by side. He was her rock, always there to back her up as she chased after her dreams of hitting it big in the modeling and music scene. Cordell and Imani were planning on moving in together soon. They had been working on an apartment. Neither of them could have imagined that the life they were building together would be tragically cut short. Saturday, September 9, 2023 was a day like any other day. Imani and her boyfriend Cordell set out to Home Depot in Brooklyn, unaware that this ordinary errand would alter their lives forever. As they pulled up to the store, with Cordell in the driver's seat, they attempted to get a parking space at the same time as a gentleman in another vehicle. Cordell was attempting to drive into the spot while the other gentleman was attempting to reverse into the parking space. Reportedly, Cordell honked his horn briefly and refused to back up to allow the individual to reverse into the space. The two men began to argue, and what began as a minor disagreement over a parking spot quickly escalated. After a heated exchange of words, Cordell allowed the man to take the parking spot and went on to find an alternative place to park. Assuming that was the end of the conflict, Cordell left Imani in the car and he proceeded inside the store. Cordell thought the brief conflict had ended without incident. However, the situation took a grim turn when he returned to his white Hyundai Sonata that Saturday afternoon around 12:15 p.m. It was then that the suspect re-emerged, approached the driver's side of the vehicle, then abruptly opened fire on Cordell and Imani before fleeing the scene. Reportedly, the assailant had waited patiently for the right moment to act, choosing a time when potential witnesses had moved on, creating an opportunity for him to shoot without immediate intervention. In the traumatic aftermath, with emotions high and chaos enveloping the scene, witnesses reported hearing Cordell's anguished cry. "I gave him the parking spot." His words were a heartbreaking echo of the senselessness that often accompanies such sudden acts of violence, emphasizing the shock and despair felt in the wake of the shooting. He was stunned that even after stepping aside to keep the peace, trouble still came knocking. Multiple witnesses called 911. They were horrified by what they witnessed. Upon arrival at the scene, the responding officers found a chaotic situation. Cordell was there, somehow still awake and talking, despite being shot in the back and the leg. Imani was in a far worse condition, unconscious and unresponsive, with a grave gunshot wound to her head. She was rushed to Kings County Hospital. She needed surgery to remove the bullet that was lodged in her brain. Imani's family had to wait through an agonizing period as doctors held off on surgery, hoping for the swelling in her brain to subside before they dared to extract the bullet that was lodged there.
argument over a parking spot ended with gunfire over the weekend in Brooklyn.
A 26-year-old woman and her boyfriend were shot near the parking lot of a Home Depot on Saturday. The woman remains in critical condition. Her boyfriend also still in the hospital.
Surveillance cameras captured the shooting. Now, in this video, you see the gunman standing in the corner here. This is Willoughby and Sanford Street. He's standing on the corner just waiting for families to walk by, and then he crosses the street and opens fire on the couple parked just across the street outside the Home Depot.
She's just full of life. She's just a good person.
Speaking from his hospital bed with gunshot wounds to his back and leg.
But it's to be happening is over something so minuscule. It's just like, it's overwhelming.
Cordell McDuffie recounts the moment he and his girlfriend Imani Sharpless were gunned down outside this Home Depot in Brooklyn Saturday afternoon. McDuffie's white Hyundai Sonata pierced with bullet holes over what he describes as a parking dispute inside the shopping center.
He was trying to go into a parking space, but he pulled up a little bit forward towards the entry. I pulled up behind the guy. He had to back up, and I was impeding on him backing up. I pretty much didn't realize it. I blew my horn for a second, then we exchanged words.
Both drivers got out the car. McDuffie said he tried to quickly defuse the situation before it escalated.
Now I told him it's a misunderstanding. You thought I was yelling. I wasn't yelling. My phone, my music was on.
McDuffie says both he and the suspect appeared to move on from the issue, continuing with their business inside the store. The couple left around 12:15 and pulled over on Willoughby Avenue.
And as I'm waiting, I just feel something hit me.
The gunman opens fire before running away. An injured McDuffie manages to drive away to safety, headed down the wrong direction on Nostrand Avenue. The suspect shot Sharpless in the head.
She's still in critical condition right now. They're trying to do what they can.
While police search for the gunman, McDuffie is holding on to hope.
I need everybody's prayers. I need her to be okay.
Eventually, Imani was taken into surgery in a bid to save her life. The fight was tough, and despite the medical team's efforts, she succumbed to her injuries 5 days after the surgery on September 14th. Investigators from the NYPD announced that they narrowed down their search to a prime suspect. The gun used by the suspect was recovered by police, as well as clothes found in a nearby dumpster. The suspect is reported to have escaped on foot, abandoning a Mercedes-Benz in the parking lot of the store. The man sought by the police is described as having a dark complexion, standing at an approximate height of 5 feet 6 inches, and weighing around 160 pounds. At the time he fled the scene, he was wearing a white shirt, a red hat, and black jeans. On September 26, 12 days later after the shooting, authorities arrested 58-year-old Quincy James from Maryland. He faces serious charges including second-degree murder, an attempt at second-degree murder, first-degree assault, and criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree. Considering the severity of these accusations, the court has ordered that he be detained without the possibility of bail. Should the legal proceedings result in a conviction on these charges, he faces 25 years to life in prison.
Today, 58-year-old Quincy Davis, accused of shooting Imani, made a short court appearance as part of the case's discovery process.
We want him to definitely pay for what he did, but we want him to know that we forgive him.
A group of Sharpless's family and close friends were there too, dressed in pink.
I'm here to support, and I love her with everything in me.
To encounter somebody who is able to forgive the person that murdered her daughter. What an example of how it is that we should be.
Cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom, but tears were flowing as Davis walked in through a side door, his hands cuffed and most of his face covered by a surgical mask and a beanie. His eyes never looked up at the family.
I am personally not just there yet on the forgiveness piece.
This Sunday would have been Imani's 27th birthday, but instead of celebrating, Sharpless continues her healing journey.
I didn't think that I was going to be able to survive my daughter's death, but what it did was it broke me to build me up in different ways.
The senseless murder of Imani shocked and devastated all of those who knew and loved her. Neighbors from her former residence in Bedford-Stuyvesant remembered Imani, who lived with her grandmother, as a gentle and easygoing young woman who steered clear of conflicts. They described her as someone who preferred her own company and certainly wasn't the type to seek out problems. Imani's boyfriend, Cordell McDuffie, has been tormented with grief for the past month after his girlfriend was murdered in an ambush. "I have not been the same. I have cried every single day since this has happened," he said. The dad of 2 boys is now getting physical and mental therapy. He's also working to ensure the suspected gunman, 58-year-old Quincy Davis, goes to prison for life. Cordell recently testified before a grand jury while wearing his girlfriend's ring, grasping to the memories of their last 4 years together. What happened to Imani Sharpless shouldn't have happened. A dispute over a parking space, a situation most would consider a fleeting inconvenience, should never escalate to murder. Yet, in one split-second decision, the trajectory of many lives was irreversibly shattered. What might have been a moment of frustration, forgotten by the next morning, turned into an irreversible tragedy. Now, the repercussions of that instant will ripple through time, leaving a void in the hearts of those who knew and loved Imani, and a stain of regret over what could have been. A reminder that the line between a minor altercation and a life-altering event can be perilously thin. This senseless act of violence has left her loved ones in a state of profound grief, struggling to comprehend the needless loss of such a vibrant life. My condolences to her friends and family. May you continue to heal and one day find peace. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.